Greetings, friends. I wanted to bring to your attention some of the most ridiculous college courses being offered to schools near you in, yes, 2017. And here's what I noticed.
Haddly diddly.
Greetings, friend. Do you wish to look at...
It was that darn recording again.
They all seem to offer some sort of revisionist history and seem to warp it into something like, this part of history is actually about X instead of what you originally thought. Everything you know about history is wrong, so here's what you really need to know from random guy with blue hair. Understand why you are the victim and nothing is your fault.
Look, I already told you, it's not my fault.
You can tell that these people never had any of their views challenged, and it's all just long-winded paragraphs that really don't say anything, trying to use big words and sound really smart. And most of them are based in pseudoscience, and I want you to pay attention to which schools they're from. The first one is Oberlin College in Ohio. How to win a beauty pageant, race, gender, culture, and U.S. national identity. That sounds wonderful. Now for these I'll be reading straight from the course description on their website, which will be linked in the description. This course examines U.S. beauty pageants from the 20s to the present. Our aim will be to analyze pageantry as a unique site for the interplay of race, gender, class, sexuality, and nation. We will learn about cultural studies methodology, including close reading, cultural history, critical discourse analysis, ethnography, and use those methods to understand the changing identity of the U.S. over time. This course includes a field trip to a pageant in Ohio. If there was ever a place to study the roles of race and gender and class, I'm pretty sure it's not beauty pageants. Hint, it's not wet t-shirt contests either. That's like analyzing locker room banter to determine what the common man really cares about.
This was locker room talk.
The Rhode Island School of Design, transracial bodies, and transracial selves. Technological advances in surgery, hormonal therapy, psychiatry, and cultural warfare are catching up to the transgender presence. The gendered body is not necessarily that with which we are born, but one that can be crafted to match the real body of our psyche. Our dreams. Blah, blah, blah. You can read it all if you want. It basically says if you want to be black, you can be black. You can be Latin. You can be Japanese. I want to be Japanese. I'm Japanese now. I was really unaware of technological advances in psychiatry and cultural warfare, but maybe that's why I'm just not Japanese yet.
A hard time I've been going through is deciding whether or not I'm Japanese. And people are gonna judge me for this. I'm aware of that. But I feel it in my veins. I know who I am, and I think I'm Japanese.
Stanford, we're really going up in school quality here, surprisingly. This course will love as a force for social justice. Yes, this course will explore the concept of agape love, compassion, and kindness as a force for social justice and action, and as the inspiration for service and the application of knowledge to positive social change. See what I mean about them just saying nothing in a lot of words? Biological, psychological, religious, and social perspectives of love will be discussed, drawing on the expertise of people from a variety of disciplines. So what you're saying is you're paying to talk about love. Don't you have friends and family who you can just talk about love with for free? And what exactly is a love expert that you're going to bring in to talk to the class? Prostitutes or...
Freshen your drink, Governor!
Get out.
UCLA, very respected school. Queering American History, that pretty much says it all, doesn't it? This is part of a series of lectures for which you require a prerequisite, and let me tell you what those are. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, and queer studies courses. You must have one of those prerequisites in order to be knowledgeable enough to attend this. History of sexual and gender minorities in U.S. Topics include changing norms, romantic friendships, medical discourse, liberation politics, post-Stonewall culture, AIDS, transgender movement, queer theory, and politics. Pass or not pass instead of letter grading. Let me guess, if you sit there and don't contradict anything, you'll pass?
Don't contradict me.
Last but not least here, Princeton of all places, and it's called TrumpLand. Here I'm quoting now. The so-called Rust Belt voted for Trump, despite being former Obama supporters. Closer analysis reveals that the seeds of this movement have been growing for some time and are rooted in America's deindustrialization, white identity politics, nationalism, populism, and a new post-truth relationship with media. Of course, it has to be because of white identity politics. Everything is. Let me tell you guys, no white people sit around and talk about whites and our identity, the white movement, or what it means to be white, or even being white in general. White people are so afraid of talking about being prideful in their race, and it's because it's been hammered into us all of our lives that it's racist. So Yes, of course there's a white supremacist movement, there's a movement for everything, but generally I've never sat and discussed what it means to be white with my friends. So when I read something like, this course will introduce students to critical theory on race, especially whiteness, conspiracy, authoritarianism, and democracy, I can tell you it's people who care way too much about race or have been shamed into being like, oh, white people are to blame for everything, because they're too lazy to go out and find out real causes or to make something of themselves. It's much easier to say, because of white people I have these problems, instead of saying, no, I'm the reason for my own problems. Last thing I want to leave you with and to highlight is look at the names of the schools that are offering these programs. Just like I say, journalism appears to be dead in terms of fact-checking and actually knowing what you're talking about, at least with news networks. Schools seem to have dropped all standards in exchange for cash from students. UCLA, Stanford, Princeton, really? Enough of this whiteness stuff. Enough of this I need to identify as a certain race or group in order to feel good and feel like a victim, so nothing's my fault. I look forward to taking Yale's Obesity is Awesome and Really Healthy for You program coming to you in 2018.
Make some noise! We're standing on the corners bopping. We're driving some of the hottest cars New York has ever seen. We're driving some of the hottest verses rappers ever heard. But a dope spot with a smoke block, fleeing a murder scene. You know me well from nightmares.